Hi, I'm Maya, and the first concert I ever attended turned into a complete mess. But I still look back at that night fondly. So, I really like metal. It's not the only genre I listen to, but I have always enjoyed the heavier stuff. So, when I found out about a big concert happening in my town, I knew I had to go. A few cool bands were supposed to be there, and I dreamed of going to a concert like this since I was like 12. But as much as I wanted to go and be a cool metalhead who does whatever she wants, in reality, I was just a 15-year-old girl and I had to ask my parents' permission to go there. And, well, they hated the music I listened to. They said it sounded like noise, not music. So I asked, and they said no. And then I asked again, and they said no again. All of this repeated again and again, hundreds of times, and every time it was no. I gave up at first, but then I came up with a plan. I said I would go to my friend's house and spend the night at her place. My friend confirmed it for them. I packed my bag, but instead of pajamas and stuff like that, I packed an outfit I had put together for the concert. I also had some money I had saved from my birthday, and it was enough to buy a ticket. I got there, but I still had one problem. Security wouldn't let me through because I was obviously too young for the concert. Let me explain something. I was 15, but I looked like I was 13, even with makeup on and my oversized leather jacket. So I had to come up with something. I noticed a cool girl standing outside. She had purple hair and a nose ring, and I went up to her and asked if she could help me get into the concert. She laughed and said, "I like you." She told security that I was her sister, and she would look after me. But he was still not sure. So then she started pleading, "Come on, please." And he finally agreed. I was finally inside, and it was so cool. There were so many people, and all of them looked so different, more interesting than regular people. I felt like I was home. It was very loud, of course, and also pretty dark. I was so overwhelmed with feelings. Some people were in a mosh pit, but I was too scared to go there. I couldn't really see the band because I was too far away in the back. I kept having to jump up to see them, and even then I could only see a little bit. Then some guy noticed me and asked, well, more like shouted in my ear, if I wanted to sit on his shoulders. I happily agreed and gave my bag to the girl who was my pretend sister. It was a little scary, but also incredibly cool, and I had been waiting for this my entire life. I thought that nothing could ruin it, but I was wrong. The dude jumped and I fell down. I didn't get hurt, but I fell down onto something wet, like someone spilled drink. It was pretty nasty, but it wasn't enough to ruin my evening, so I turned around to find my sister, but she was nowhere to be found. I started to look around to find her, but it was literally impossible to look for her in the crowd. I finally realised that she had stolen my bag and that I wasn't getting it back. Now I was really panicking, because my regular clothes, my phone, and the rest of my money was in that bag. How could I have given it to someone I'd just met? I went outside and started crying. I was wet, dirty, and alone. Suddenly some very big metalhead came up to me. He had long hair and a massive beard, and he himself was large and had very scary eyes. He was much older than everyone else, like 30 or 40. I thought that he wanted to rob me or something, but then he asked if I was all right and why I was crying. He had a very soft and kind voice. I told him everything that had happened. He laughed and said, "Let's go and find your bag." We went inside and he was actively searching around, looking closely for people with purple hair. He finally found the girl and took my bag back from her. I thanked him and went outside again to go home. It was a very awkward and messy evening, and not what I had pictured at all. The guy that helped me came after me and asked if I wanted to go get a burger. He said, "There's a burger joint nearby. Let's go eat." I'm Andy, by the way. I realised that I was really hungry, so I agreed. So we were eating burgers, and I looked horrible, especially mascara, because I'd been crying all night. Andy, this big tough guy, told me, "When I was your age, I was always running away from home to go to concerts and stuff, but my family was horrible. I didn't want to be there. What about you? Same?" I looked down and said, Not really. My parents are so nice." Andy smiled and said, "Then go home." I said, I can't. They will be super angry at me. Andy started laughing. Yeah, they will. I'll give you money for a taxi. When I sat in the taxi and started to drive away, Andy gave me a rocker sign with his hand, and I did the same back. It was such a weird evening. I got home and tried to sneak in quietly, but my parents woke up, so I had to tell them everything. They were super angry, and they banned me from getting on the internet for over a month. For the next few days, I couldn't even look them in the eye. But then, something great happened. It was the first time my parents did something like this. They came into my room and gave me a guitar. They said, "If you like this music so much, you should at least learn something useful from it. Your guitar courses start tomorrow, and you have to practice for at least an hour every day as part of your punishment." I was so happy. I'm still practicing every day, even when my fingers hurt. And I named my guitar Andy, by the way. What's your favourite music? Share it in the comments, and like this video if you also dream of going to a big concert.